You are now watching the Stampede, brought to you by the Hive. Game footage may or may not be related.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Stampede, brought to you by the Hive, where we give you game reviews, let's plays, and so much more. We're three dudes that rolled a natural 20, and now we have a YouTube channel. And if you don't understand that reference, you're never going to. I'm your host, Buffalo Prime, as always, and you can reach out to me on Twitter, at Buffalo Prime. You can reach up to all of us at Hive Guys. Today we're going to talk Nintendo. Why are we going to talk Nintendo? Because there are three blockbuster games that are coming out. You got Super Smash Bros. WiiU, Pokemon Alpha Ruby, and Pokemon Omega Sapphire. Those games are huge that are coming out. I hope I didn't get those wrong. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Is that it? Is it Alpha? You know, I always get those two mixed up, and I'm really self-conscious every time I say them, because I'm like, oh my god, I might have the wrong one. So, those titles could have been better. But, ultimately, the reason those games are huge is because you look at every Super Smash Bros. Game that has ever come out, they've all been games that last a long time. Super Smash Bros. Brawl really never dropped in price. During the past, 5 years that's been out? Probably around 5 years. Price never dropped because people love it. People are going to play this game for a long time. Super Smash Bros. Wii U, the only disappointing side that I could see is the fact that they're reaching out and they're really hitting a norm along the video game industry, which is paid DLC. Like they just said that Mewtwo will probably be paid DLC. That's kind of crap, but it's part of the industry now, so you really can't blame Nintendo for doing that. That's the only bummer I really see. It's going to be a good game. And then the Pokemon series, if you've ever been a Pokemon fan, you're going to love this Pokemon game. You just are. Because no Pokemon game is really that disappointing that's along the mainstream. Like, you could argue that Rancher games might not be great, and there hasn't been a really good console Pokemon game since maybe Pokemon Coliseum, but new Pokemon game, Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire, that sounds right. Alpha Sapphire, Omega, yeah, I think that's right. But those games are going to be big. Pokemon fans are going to love it. We at the Hive, all three of us own our own Nintendo 3DS. I guarantee you one of us is going to get that game, and we're going to talk about it forever. Okay? The Super Smash Bros. Wii U, none of us own a Wii U. We have a drone that owns one, and eventually they'll be introduced as guest hosts to the Hive. So if we want to do a review of that, we'll probably play with them. But so a big thing that we want to talk about, though, is the future of Nintendo. Okay, again, we look back at Nintendo's past, and you can't help but be disappointed. I mean, I'm a big Nintendo critic. Why? Because I was a GameCube fan, hardcore, over the PS2 and over, or no, actually at that point it was PS1 and the Xbox. I wanted a GameCube. That was the big one to me. Because you had Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, you had that Super Smash Brothers, you had Super Mario Sunshine, Zelda Wind Waker. It was a good time to be a Nintendo fan. And it had been for so long. NES, SNES, N64, GameCube. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, the Game Boy DS at that point, and Nintendo DS, that was coming out. It was a good time to be a Nintendo fan. And then the Wii hit. Terrible. I'm sorry. I have to make my opinion known. This is my show. It's my opinions. The Nintendo Wii geared games towards a family setting, and that was a bad move. Gamers are mostly not families, okay? And I mean that in a sense that once you start having kids, it becomes a lot harder to play video games. And as they're growing up, you have a lot more expenses. Like you're sending them off to school. You're getting them involved in sports. You got to change their clothes size every couple of years, if not every year. Buying a Wii and buying Nintendo product when you have those other expenses is just not a priority. Okay, so that's why Nintendo's been struggling. You blame it on the fact that their target market's incredibly difficult to really obtain. And the second thing is their games suck. They suck. Okay? I guess that's too generic of a statement. Because you look at Zelda games, those have never really been that bad. Mario still does decently. They have, what was that called? Monster Hunter? That series, amazing. That brings in your hardcore gamers from PS4, from Xbox One, from the PS Vita. Monster Hunter will do it. That'll bring people over. That's a great game. But every other game's a joke. Wii Fit, Wii Sports, what is going on? Those are terrible games. Let's also not ignore the fact that Star Fox died for 8 years. Not the literal character. The series just was gone. They're bringing that back next year. They got a new Zelda coming out next year. These 3 games coming out right now. it's a great time to be a Nintendo fan. And if you don't have a Nintendo product, you got to get one. Okay, now if you're looking for a 3DS, wouldn't buy it yet. They're coming out with a brand, like the new 3DS, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why that's even necessary? The fact that it's going to be its own system with its own exclusive games, crap. That's crap. It's crap. That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But the 3DS is a great system. The Wii U is going to be, it's starting to become viable right now, and it's going to continue to grow and continue to be awesome into next year when big games come out, when Zelda, Mario, and Star Fox, when they continue the games that have made them successful and they continue to innovate, it's going to be great. So a good time to be a Nintendo fan right now. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. You can call out my crap. Do it. I'm not a Nintendo fan anymore. I've been stripped of that. Okay? I don't have it. It's not in me anymore. I love Pokemon, and that's basically all I buy now. So let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you've played any of these 3 games that are coming out today or tomorrow, depending on when this video comes out, let me know what they're like. Super Smash Bros. Wii U, Pokemon Alpha Ruby, and Pokemon Omega Sapphire, unless that's different. Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, that could be it. Again, that was confusing, and I haven't gotten that down. I apologize. But let me know what those games are like in the comment section below. I want to hear your opinions, and as always, you can reach out to us and suggest future episodes. But thanks again for tuning in, and have a good one.